Good morning, brothers and sisters. I wanted to make another video focused more on music, since the last one actually was a little helpful for some of my musician friends. This specifically is going to be about something that ever since I started playing music, and even before that when I was a little kid, just looking up to like these really cool bands that I liked on these big stages and touring the world and everything, something that I always was just a big dream of mine, and that was signing a record deal. So I know it's a little catchy, I guess, to put in the title, like top 5 things I've learned, or so. Like, I'll try to keep the format a little similar within the video, but obviously if you've been watching any of my videos, you know that even though it stays on topic, it's not specifically like this like list form linear thing. It's a little bit more like sporadic throughout. But the first big lesson that I learned from my very first record deal was to document everything. It's so important to document everything. Every text message or email that had to do with different representatives of the label, including label heads themselves. And I guess that extends into what could be the second point, which is receipts. A big reason why we started keeping track of receipts initially was because we were LLCing the band at the time. This is around like 2015. We were LLCing the band, and a big thing about like LLCing your business, whether it's your band or a shop or whatever it is documenting expenses, for, like end of year tax purposes, and, certain things are deductible, which is nice. But also it was very important too, because when you start working with a record label, they start investing time and money of their own into you. So it's very important to kind of like keep track of your own spending, your own expenses, and also like what they're putting in. So document everything, like if you need to have a journal or a notebook. Like, I used my lyric book to also document expenses and keep track of these things, just to kind of keep everything in the same place. Like, whenever I was doing something musically related, I would just go to my book, because my book had pretty much everything. But another thing too is, I guess this could be the third point if we want to consider like receipts a separate point, even though I feel like 1 and 2 could sort of go in together. But like the third one is really learning how to communicate properly. Obviously this was a hard learned lesson for me, because I'm the type of person that wants to I kind of want to accept people as they are, and regardless of whether it's a business relationship or just like a regular friendship, I don't want to put too many expectations, because I know how I am with myself, and I try not to extend those high expectations towards other people, but that can be a little difficult. But the way that you communicate with people that you're working with is so important, because the breakdown of communication could come very swiftly. So not just learning how to communicate clearly and precisely, but also like with a certain level of confidence, a certain level of sternness, but also with like a degree of openness as well. Because at the end of the day, if you're signing a record deal, it's gonna be, even if it's not creative, it's still gonna be collaborative. Like, it's not just like you get to do whatever you want and they're just giving you a platform or a budget to work with in order to do that. A lot of times record deals will factor in like a financial cut of almost everything you do, or like a bit of like a cut of the royalties, or like having say over, you know, certain things that they're involved with. Like say they're funding your music video, or they're shooting your music video in-house. Well, the creative process is going to be collaborative. Then it's not just going to be like whatever you want, like your entire vision untouched. Obviously, every deal is different, and you know, as certain record labels that you're working with are like bigger, have more of a reputation, it's going to be a lot harder to negotiate. But that's the whole point to wanting to really hone your communication skills, is because you're going to have to negotiate a lot on almost everything. At least from my first record deal, that's what I learned. The fourth lesson that I learned was that you need to legally have your shit together. And what I mean by that is trademark your name and your logo, copyright all your lyrics and music, but also, if you don't specifically have an entertainment lawyer, have some sort of lawyer that's able to look over every contract you're signing, that's able to help you make decisions if you have to, like, you know, if things get like weird and legal, you know, like you need that in your arsenal, like some sort of like lawyer or someone with a legal background that can definitely help you make these decisions. I was lucky enough for our first recording contract. Our rep, who was a good friend of mine, he had an entertainment lawyer friend that he put us in touch with, and you know, he was willing to like look over things pro bono. And you know, when things got a little sketchy towards the end, I also approached a second lawyer. So that's another thing too, is that like you don't have to limit yourself to just one person or just take one person's word. Like, cause I went to this second lawyer who was a criminal lawyer, and he was able to look over the contract, look over all the conversations that we've had in emails, and find several breachings on their end, which gave us a fighting chance to basically stand up for ourselves, and I guess voice our concerns, or voice our, you know, like make some sort of demands. Obviously, if you don't really have the strategy, the confidence, or like a team, cohesiveness, communication skills, these are all things you need in order to be able to like negotiate and throw your weight around. The final thing that I've learned is, and this was a tough one for me, but was that you really need to let go of your vision of how you want things to go, or your expectations rather, not even your vision. Because I think it's good to have a vision, but as long as you're not like supremely married to that vision, then you'll be able to accept how things unfold, for better or for worse. You know, like sometimes things work out even better than how you envision them, but you need to be open to that possibility. If you're too married to how you want things to go, prepare to be disappointed your entire life. So yes, that would be my top 5 big lessons that I've learned from my first record deal. Thank you for tuning in. If you have your own experience with signing a record deal, or if it's something that you've always wanted to do, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope to catch you in the next video.